I asked my husband to rate my bridesmaids for fun. He gave my best friend a 10. She laughed. I laughed. And apparently, somewhere in between, they ask Ed again. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This started as a joke. A stupid, wine-fueled, bachelorette-brained idea I thought would be cute. You know how people do wedding TikToks, with their fiancé guessing their dress or ranking cake flavors blindfolded? Well, I had this idea, probably after watching too much reality TV and drinking too much Trader Joe's organic red, that I'd let Ryan rate my bridesmaids based on their hotness. I thought it would be hilarious. Innocent. A dumb way to tease him, to poke fun at his bro brain in front of my friends. They were into it too. It was Kara's idea, technically. My MOH. My ride or die since AP Bio. The one who once held my hair while I puked in a Sephora bag on New Year's Eve. She's not gonna say no, Kara smirked when I floated the idea. She lives for this messy shit. She wasn't wrong. The night we filmed it, we were in my apartment, drinking canned mimosas and eating leftover wedding cupcake samples that had deflated slightly, but still tasted like sugar and poor impulse control. Ryan sat on the couch like a good sport. My girls lined up. We held our breaths. He went down the line with faux judgy commentary. Jules, solid 7.5, great cheekbones, dangerous X energy though. Emily, 8, sweet but gives me owns 4 cats vibe. Cass, 6.5, but only because she said Die Hard was a Christmas movie, and I'll never get over that. Laughter. Screaming. The kind of chaos that lives best in Instagram stories and evaporates in 24 hours. And then, Kara 10, easy. We all went quiet for half a beat. Then someone yelled, whore. We laughed. Kara did a fake curtsy. Ryan winked at me like, relax, babe, it's a joke. And it felt like a joke. That's the worst part. It felt like a joke. Even though, somewhere deep in my spine, I felt my stomach twitch. A tiny flicker of static. Gone before I could name it. I told myself he was just playing along. Kara was hot, she was. Tall, smart, almond-shaped eyes, and that laugh that made strangers want to orbit her. She was the kind of woman men either feared or fetishized. And Ryan, he was the kind of man who liked a challenge. Still, I didn't think much of it. Because why would I? They never hung out alone. She was my friend. She helped pick my dress. She called my mom Mama J. She threw me a shower and cried when she read her speech. But that was before the wedding. Before the photos. Before the bathtub text. Before I realized that nostalgia isn't just a feeling. It's a fucking breadcrumb. The first time Kara met Ryan, she said, "Oh, so this is the guy you're overhyping." And I should have clocked it then. But I was too busy blushing like a teenager in love and trying to pretend the giant zit on my jawline didn't exist. We'd been dating 3 months. Still in that phase where everything felt like a montage. Coffee runs, forehead kisses, skipping through Whole Foods like we were auditioning for a Netflix rom-com nobody asked for. Kara was skeptical, which was fair. She'd seen me through the ex with the music career, the one who ghosted me during finals, and the one who cheated on me with his therapist. So when Ryan showed up with real job energy, crisp white sneakers, and the kind of confidence that read like charisma instead of cockiness, she wasn't sure what to make of it. Still, they clicked. At first, it was my thing. My new love. My little adult romance in the making. But then I noticed how often they laughed together. Not inappropriately. Just effortlessly. And how Kara started coming around more when I wasn't even home yet. "Oh, I was just waiting for you," she'd say, lounging on our couch like it was hers. Ryan made me a grilled cheese. Cool. Cute. I told myself it was fine. They were friends through me. She was my person. He was becoming my person. The overlap was inevitable. Besides, Kara had been in my life since high school. She'd been there when my dad got diagnosed, when I bombed my college interview, when I shaved half my head out of heartbreak, and she called it avant-garde instead of unemployed energy. She once drove 3 hours to help me move out of an ex's apartment in the rain, then played Sorry by Beyoncé the entire drive back. There was loyalty there. Decades of it. So yeah, I let the little things slide. The long hugs. The shared memes. The one time I walked in on them laughing over some inside joke I didn't recognize and Ryan said, "You had to be there," and I was. I pushed the feeling down. Because women are taught to do that. To smile through the twitch. To breathe through the shift in the room. And he never gave me a reason not to trust him. Not then. Not when we got engaged at the lake house. Not when he cried reading his vows. Not when he pressed his forehead to mine right before I do and whispered, "This is everything." So when I found that text, months later, after the wedding, drunk on leftover Prosecco, barefoot in my bridal robe, scrolling through his phone like a cliché with mascara under her eyes, I wasn't looking for that. I was just being dumb. Curious. We had a fight that night. Over something stupid. He forgot to say thank you to my aunt for the blender or something. He'd passed out early. I'd stayed up scrolling, twitchy from adrenaline and champagne. His phone lit up. A text from Kara. Not unusual. They still texted sometimes. She sent him memes. He responded with emojis. But this one said, "Nostalgia is what we did in her bathroom." I read it 3 times. Each time, the words bent a little harder. Nostalgia. Not fantasy. Not fiction. Nostalgia. Which meant it already happened. In my house. In my bathroom. With my robe probably hanging on the door. And that was the moment I stopped breathing. Because I knew. In that second, I knew. It wasn't just a one-time thing. It wasn't before me. It wasn't a mistake. It was them. Still. And the 10. The joke rating. That wasn't a joke. It was memory. I didn't scream. Didn't throw the phone. Didn't march into the bedroom and rip the covers off him like I was in some HBO drama. I just sat there. Frozen. The robe slipping off my shoulder. My hair still half done from the reception. The bobby pins digging into my scalp like tiny reminders that everything, was still pinned into place by denial. Nostalgia is what we did in her bathroom. The words were still open on the screen. No follow-up. No context. Just that sentence. Like a match left smoldering. I should have confronted him that night. Woke him up. Thrown the phone at his chest and said, "Explain this." But I didn't. Because I wasn't ready to hear whatever version of the truth he was going to invent. So I let him sleep. And I sat in the living room until sunrise, replaying every single second of our wedding. Every single one. And suddenly, the whole damn thing felt radioactive. Like I could see it now, the truth hiding in plain sight, cloaked in florals and matching dresses. Her toast. That was the first one that punched me. She started sweet. I've known her since we were awkward, hormonal, and obsessed with the OC. Laughter. She's loyal to a fault. She'd burn the world for the people she loves, and that kind of heart, it attracts the kind of love that doesn't just stay, it chooses to stay. Everyone clapped. Ryan squeezed my hand. But now, I realize what she was saying. That wasn't a compliment. That was confession. She'll love you even if you don't deserve it. She won't leave no matter what. She forgives. My vows, I couldn't even remember half of them. I was too busy watching Ryan's face while I read. But now I remembered hers, word for word. Because he was the audience, not me. And their energy at the reception. That wasn't old friends. That was closure disguised as comfort. They danced. Once. I thought it was cute. My husband and my best friend, sharing a laugh to a cheesy Zero Zeros pop song. But when she hugged him, it was long. Too long. He said something in her ear. She smiled with her eyes closed. I didn't think twice. Because I didn't want to. That's the thing about betrayal, it doesn't happen in a moment. It happens in the replay. In the freeze frames. In the facial expressions that suddenly make too much sense. I remembered Kara helping me get dressed. Her zipping up my gown. Adjusting my veil. Whispering, "You look like a fairy tale." And now I think she meant a fairy tale you're not actually in. Because by then, the affair had already happened. That's what I found out later. I wish I could say it was a one-night thing. A slip-up before the engagement. A secret they buried out of guilt. But no. It happened after he proposed. While we were planning the wedding. While I was making seating charts and arguing with the florist over ranunculus colors. They were still in it. Still touching. Still texting. Still nostalgic in my fucking bathroom. And when I asked why, when I finally confronted him, he said, "It was before the wedding, it doesn't count." Doesn't count. Like fidelity starts when you say, "I do," not when you promise it. Like the engagement was a suggestion. And Kara, she didn't even deny it. She just blinked at me and said, "You said he was your soulmate. I figured you'd forgive him." Not us. Him. Because in her mind, she was just a detail. An accessory. A subplot in my love story. Not the wrecking ball. Not the other woman. Just a bridesmaid with benefits. I thought the worst part was knowing it had happened. But it was. The worst part was realizing. It was still happening. It started when I checked Kara's Instagram. I hadn't looked since the wedding. We were still tagged in the same carousel. Champagne toasts, getting ready robes, that stupid candid of her whispering something that made me laugh. Now, she archived all of it. Everything wedding-related. Gone. Except one photo. A blurry close-up from the reception dance floor. Her arm draped over someone's shoulder. Only a sliver of jawline visible. But I knew that jaw. Caption. Some things don't need to be explained, just remembered. Posted 3 days ago. 3 days. The same night Ryan came home, late from drinks with the guys. The same night he smelled like the kind of soap I don't buy. I scrolled faster. Her story that night. A candlelit glass of wine. Song lyrics overlaid. I know it's wrong, but it feels like home. I dropped my phone. Not metaphorically. I actually dropped it. It hit the floor hard enough to crack the corner. Which felt fitting. Because something inside me cracked too. I didn't even ask him that night. I didn't have to. I just watched him make toast like nothing had shifted. Like he hadn't made a choice. Again. Like the sin expired just because the wedding was over. He said things like, "You've been distant lately. Are you okay? You know I love you, right?" And I said nothing. Because I was running scripts in my head. Trying to calculate the damage. How many people knew? Did anyone at the wedding suspect? Was her toast a confession? Was his best man in on it? Was I just the last to know? The sad punchline in a joke I paid 50 grand to host. That night, I sat in the dark with my laptop. Pulled up our wedding gallery. Clicked through each photo, one by one. And started renaming files. IMG 2047, JPG became. Me and Kara, 2 minutes before betrayal. IMG 2053, JPG. Him holding both our lies. IMG 2101, JPG. When nostalgia wore matching bridesmaid dresses. At some point, I started laughing. The kind of laugh that feels more like a malfunction. Sharp, unhinged. A sound that vibrates in your ribs and makes your teeth feel too big for your mouth. Because what else do you do? Cry. Scream. Break plates. I'd already broken the damn phone. My dignity was next. But no. Instead, I logged into Instagram. Opened a new post. Carousel. 10 slides. Each one a photo from the wedding. No filters. No hearts. Just the truth delivered slowly. Slide 1. Me in my gown, beaming. Caption. Not every fairy tale needs a prince. Slide 2. Ryan holding my hand during vows. He promised forever. She promised to help me zip the dress. Slide 3. Cara and I hugging. She cried when I said I do. I should have asked why. Slide 4. Them dancing. 10 out of 10, wouldn't recommend. And so on. By the time I got to slide 10. A group shot, all smiles. All teeth. I wrote, this was the happiest day of my life. Until I saw what they texted each other about my bathroom. I tagged them both. Hit post. Then turned off my phone. Took a long bath. And left the door wide open. My post hit like a detonation. I didn't even see it go viral in real time. Because I turned my phone off. Fully off. Airplane mode felt too soft. I lit candles. Poured wine. And sat in the bath with my knees to my chest like a Greek tragedy housewife who just burned it all down. When I turned my phone back on 12 hours later, I had 78 missed messages. 12 from Cara. 6 from Ryan. 3 from his mom. And a bunch from people I hadn't spoken to in years. Texts. DMs. Voicemails. Some saying, "Are you okay?" Others saying, "This is too much." One girl, some distant friend of a friend who was at the wedding, wrote, "I saw the way they looked at each other that day. You're not crazy." Another just wrote, "Tag me next time you set a man's reputation on fire." But the messages from Cara, they were a whole genre. Can we talk? I never meant for it to go that far. You said you loved me like a sister. You're ruining so many people's lives right now. Oh. Now it's ruined. It wasn't ruined when you climbed into my bed for sleepy bachelorette photos and then climbed into his mouth later that month. It wasn't ruined when you helped me pick a veil while texting him from your Uber. Fascinating. And Ryan. He didn't even deny it. His first text read, "You promised not to go nuclear." Excuse me. I promised to love. To honor. To trust. You promised not to F my maid of honor. Guess we both broke something. His next message was worse. You didn't have to tag her. Oh, I did. Because for once, I wanted her to feel seen. I wanted her name right there, attached to the dress, the photos, the lies. Not hidden behind whispers. Not just the friend. The one. And then came the call. From his mom. I let it ring 3 times before picking up. She said, "I always knew something was off between you and Cara, but I didn't want to say anything." I said, "You could have said something before I married a walking cliché." She exhaled. Long and slow. "What are you going to do now?" I said, "I don't know, but I know what I'm not going to do, stay quiet." The next week was chaos. Tabloid-level wedding gossip within our circle. People choosing sides. Uninvited commentary from men I hadn't spoken to since college suddenly giving me lessons in privacy and grace. Kara deleted all her accounts. Ryan posted a Notes app apology that read like it had been run through ChatGPT under vague regret with spiritual undertones. I acknowledge the pain I've caused. I'm doing the work. Please respect our privacy during this difficult time. Sir, you just got kicked out of your own honeymoon phase. Also, let's be clear. You rated your affair partner a 10 on camera. You don't get to talk about privacy now. But beneath the noise, beneath the rage, beneath the brokenness, something was forming. Something strange. Sharp. Clean. Clarity. Not healing. Not yet. But the kind of clarity that doesn't beg for explanations. The kind that lets you walk barefoot into the wreckage of your own wedding photos and say, at least now it's honest. I disappeared for a month. Deleted the app. Turned off notifications. Left the group chats. Told my job I needed time and actually meant it for once. I didn't go on some eat, pray, cry tour of Bali. I stayed home. Bought new sheets. Painted one wall dark green like a reset butt. I didn't speak to Ryan. Or Kara. Or anyone who had anything to say other than, what do you need? And then, 31 days after the post heard, round the bridal suite, I came back. Not with a meltdown. Not with a statement. Not with healing vibes. I came back with a carousel. Just a post. On my main. No caption. Just the title. Wedding Retrospective. Slide 1. A photo of me and Ryan holding hands at the altar. Zoomed in on our fingers. Caption. I held on too tightly to someone already letting go. Slide 2. Kara fixing my veil. My eyes closed, hers not. Caption. She told me I looked like a fairy tale. She just forgot to mention it was hers. Slide 3. Our wedding take. The one she helped me design. Caption. Layered sweet, full of things I didn't taste. Slide 4. Ryan's hand on my back during the first dance. Zoomed in. Caption. He told me I was his only. His phone told me otherwise. Slide 5. Kara laughing with my mom. Caption. When betrayal sits next to family and calls itself love. Slide 6. Our friend group. Smiling. Perfect. Caption. Everyone clapped. Some of them knew. Slide 7. The infamous rating game screenshot. Ryan mid-laugh. Kara with her mock-surprised face. Caption. She was a 10. So was the lie. Slide 8. A photo of me walking down the aisle. Alone. Veil back. Eyes forward. No caption. Just a white heart emoji. Slide 9. A blank black square. Slide 10. Me now. On the same green wall I just painted. New haircut. Soft light. Holding a sign that says, not every fairy tale needs a prince. I tagged no one. I explained nothing. The comments exploded. You're a savage and a poet. This belongs in a museum and on a t-shirt. We're witnessing art and recovery at the same time. Slide 7 made my jaw drop. Even Kara's cousin commented, let me know if you need a new maid of honor with better taste in men. The post hit 500,000 views in 2 days. Wedding blogs started quoting it. A podcast used it as a case study in digital grief reclamation. I didn't care about any of that. What mattered was that I reclaimed the narrative. They had the story first. They controlled it in whispers. Late-night texts. Half-truths wrapped in champagne and curated playlists. But now, the ending was mine. Not elegant. Not healed. Not finished. But honest. No Photoshop. No captions in cursive font. No ring emoji. Just reality, printed in bold. People always want to know how it ends. Did he ever apologize? Did she reach out again? Did you get closure? And here's the honest answer. I don't know if this story ends. But it definitely stopped. It stopped needing to be explained. It stopped keeping me up at night. It stopped living on my timeline like a ghost in white chiffon. 1 year later, I live in a smaller place. The kind with mismatched dishes and only one toothbrush in the cup. I stopped waiting for apologies that don't come. Stopped rereading texts for hidden subtext. Stopped asking myself if I overreacted. Because here's the thing. They knew what they were doing. This wasn't an accident. It wasn't a heat-of-the-moment lapse or some cosmic mistake. It was choice. Repeated. Layered. Decorated with lies and wedding cake frosting. And I made choices too. I chose not to burn the dress. It's in a box, buried in my closet, covered in sarcastic sticky notes I left for my future self. One reads, "This is what delusion looks like in Tool." Another just says, "He liked the slit, so did she." It helps me laugh. Because that's the thing I never expected. The laughter. It came back. Slowly. Dry at first, then warmer. I started making jokes again. Started ordering dessert again. Started showing up to parties without wondering if everyone already knows. And yes, I date now. Carefully. With one eye open and no rose-colored glasses. A guy once asked why I didn't want a wedding. I said, "Been there, broke that." He laughed. I smiled. We split the check. No pressure. No veil. Just honesty. People ask if I still talk to Kara. I don't. But she DM'd me once after the retrospective post. All she wrote was, "You really know how to ruin a story." I wanted to say, "No, Kara, I just refuse to let you write the ending." But I didn't reply. Because I didn't need to. She knows. So does he. And honestly, so do I. I know who I was. I know what I let slide. I know what I learned the hard way. And most importantly, I know what I'll never let happen again. So no, I didn't win. But I walked away. With my head up. With my truth sharp. And with one hell of a story. Looking back now, maybe I should have said less. Or maybe I finally said enough. Subscribe to my Mia's Stories YouTube channel for raw, emotional stories and authentic insights that encourage healing, growth, and understanding. Don't forget to be part of a supportive space where stories inspire and lessons resonate. What do you think about this story? Let us know in the comments. Your opinion truly matters to us, and we're here for you.